enjoy the show. I want to see too.
Welcome to Lugnutz.
A reverse porcupine, because the prick's on the inside.
You see the yellow?
Yeah. Well, I see the blue, and I love it. They're not letting you in the $100,000 car. This is the windowless van that all the kids were in. You want this, sweetie? That's a fat hooker who's got one leg. The fifth door's in the back end. Giggity. We are live.
We looked very confused in that photo.
Ooh. Yeah.
We're going live. Oh no!
I always get about like 10,
Hi, folks.
10 still frames of the podcast and to pick from for the thumbnail, and some of them are just really weird like that. So, we're Projangers and Wall Hangers Media Network, and we are this is the production of...
Welcome to Lugnutz.
Yeah, Lugnutz.
Today on Lugnutz, we have Nissan news. Nikola, not Tesla. We have recalls. We have recalls, and we have, guess what? More recalls.
More recalls.
And we'll also have a recap of the auto show this week on Lugnutz.
Crazy. So I, of course, am Matthew Bugro, the Madman. To my left is Stephen Bugro, Big Brother. And we come together every week. It's on pjnwh.com. You can check us out. And we give you the latest in automotive news. You could come here to homepage and find our last podcast, Triforce, Waterbush, and Cyberhand Tentacles, as well as our live appearance at Game and DVD Exchange with Frank Percy. Thanks, Mark. Are you a con man? And, of course, you can always check out all of our stuff here. You can go over to Contact Us. So, you can go
reach us on all forms of social media.
Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. We're on them all. Add your name, your email, your message. Do you want to give us an idea for a podcast? Do you want to do a podcast? We'll put it out for you and produce it. As well as ideas for end segments. So click that submit button, hit like, subscribe, and comment below. So, what do we have for our first news article?
For our first news article, we have a list of manual transmission cars. The photo.
Photo gallery. This is an endangered species list.
Very, more and more, they aren't making cars with manual. First up, we have a BMW 2 Series, always a classic.
Yeah, very classic BMW. I mean, I love those rims. The front end says, get out of my way, I'm a prick.
Mm-hmm.
Classic BMW. It's like a porcupine, a reverse porcupine, because the prick's on the inside.
Yep, Germans no driving. Mm-hmm. Again, the BMW.
4 Series.
4 Series, because the Germans no driving.
Yeah, stick shift, the 430i, 440i,
6-speed manual.
440i. Yeah.
All right, what else do we have on our list?
We have the Chevrolet.
The Camaro.
Camaro.
Now, that's one you wouldn't necessarily think of, but Chevy's got you covered.
That was still a nice car.
The stick shift on the Camaro.
That was a very nice car.
The 2020 Camaro SS listed there.
At the auto show, that was a very nice car that you can
It does. It does look really nice.
Yeah, it's very classic. 6.2 liter V8. The sporty models like the ZL1 and the ZLE feature a rev matching to make sure you get it right every time. Sounds like the heel-toe champion, and that's essentially what it is. What you do with rev matching is you want to match the revs to the gear that you're going into so it's a smoother transition. And a lot of the manual cars that are still coming out are coming out with the rev matching, which is nice because you don't have to do a weird kind of like heel toe, which is you put your heel on the gas and your foot on the brake and your other foot's on the clutch. So it's a heel toe.
Okay.
Very confusing. But I know that from the anime Initial D. If you're a driving fan, you will definitely like that.
Up next, we have the Chevy Corvette. Everyone knows this one.
For better or worse, mid-engine.
Z06, and we have a story about the Stingray coming up soon. Stay tuned. What is that? There's a lot of cars on this list.
7-speed manual.
I didn't think there would be 30 cars on the list. Let's see who's next on the list.
Ha! Chevy Spark.
Chevy Spark. Wow, that is surprising.
That's something.
It looks like a very economical choice.
Economical is a word for it.
That is a reasonably priced car.
Word for it. Yeah.
Dodge Challenger. Of course, they would think about manual over there.
Oh yeah, that's one of the cars. You get into the niche cars like this, you're always going to see a manual in the Charger and the Challenger. Both of those, they're just synonymous with a great driver's muscle car. And then
a Fiat 124 Spider.
Fix it again, Tony.
And let's see what's next on the list.
Wow. We got a Ford Mustang.
Car driver's list of cars that are still sold with manual.
It looks like it's got something to say to you in the front end. Kind of looks like a Stingray.
This looks like it's a sharp car. The actual creature.
Fish. Yeah. You look at that. That's what that front end looks like. But it just looks angry.
That is a Stingray. sharp car.
Oh, it's real
Ford
sharp.
Mustang,
I love it.
Available in a 6-speed manual. Up next,
Hyundai
Genesis G70.
With your cardboard trunk interior.
2-liter engine.
That was the
V6.
If you saw our live podcast last week at the auto show, I did comment on the Genesis on how kind of cardboard-like the interior was in the trunk area.
Yeah, that was for the hatchback, I believe.
I would imagine it's
I
still
have
the
a
same.
nice story about Kia later.
A nice story about them. That's different.
Honda Accord. Wow.
That we actually got a really good look at the auto show, which was.
And you have a review of that front bumper sensor coming up later in the next few
and the Civic
series. The Honda Civic. It's not surprising that Honda doesn't let you down.
I mean,
Honda always thinks of the car guys. Like one of the most iconic Hondas is in the Fast and the Furious.
Yes.
They
increased the angle of the windshield, so it doesn't look as ridiculous. But that's still it's a nice front end. It's a very reliable car.
It's a better look than some.
Exactly.
Hondas.
It's still a very weird front end, like this.
This looks like the Honda Fit.
Yeah, with the 13-inch wheels. There might be
Honda
12s.
offering a lot of reasonably priced cars. What's next?
Looks
Halfway through the list of the
orange
car and
booger.
driver list.
Hyundai, which has looked the same
Hyundai.
since they were even began a company. The Hyundai they always look. That looks like a Hyundai. You know what I mean? Not bad or worse. Mazda. That's the
Hyundai Elantra GT hatchback.
Shit.
Next. This is another car that is available in a manual transmission. The Hyundai Veloster. Looks like a sporty hatch, a competitor
The Forte GT is also
another Kia. This goes to show our story that we'll mention later.
Which Kia and Hyundai are the same company.
Yeah.
So I mean that just makes sense that they would have a manual transmission, but this is not a Hyundai.
Lotus.
That's a Lotus Evora GT.
And if you're gonna buy a Lotus, buy a tow truck
That's
too.
a sharp-looking Lotus.
That is a hot-looking little car.
That's how you do it.
6-speed manual. That is.
If I had the extra money to blow,
I wouldn't be parking it here.
No.
Next on the list.
No. Mazda 3.
Mazda 3.
I knew they came.
They are known as the car guys car company.
Yeah. And
especially back in the day with the Zoom commercials.
Yeah. Automatics are kind of spreading wide, but it's nice to know that you can still get a Mazda 3.
2.4 liter 4. Mazda Miata will not let you down.
The Miata MX-5, yeah.
We had the new ones look really sharp as well. I would pick one up. Now available in new colors.
Yeah, that's a nice roadster. That's a really nice roadster. The
Mitsubishi Mirage looks like a crossover or a bizarre looking car.
Kind of looks like a bug.
A little bit. It's the yellow. It makes you think of that. It's the yellow. You see the yellow?
Yeah. Well, I see the blue, and I love it.
The Nissan Z. We have another story about the Nissan Z as well. Coming up later.
The 370Z is a very nice car. Don't back up because you can't see anything.
Yeah. Is the poor guy's Porsche.
Yeah, get one with a camera.
Yes. Another Nissan, the Nissan Versa.
That looks a lot different than yours.
Yeah, and the front end looks about the same.
It looks like it kind of.
They changed they updated the exterior looks the same, but they updated the interior. All come with the rear backup camera now.
That's nice.
Push button start, I think, is automatic. Comes with everything.
Kind of looks like if your car was left out in the sun and the snow melted it. It just kind of sloped down.
Yeah.
Everything's a little bit more angry now. It's not a happy snowman.
Yeah. Maybe they altered it a little bit more.
And then
It's
all
the
right,
color.
give them new shit in the interior. Yeah, it's a completely
It's the
different car. They
it's
just left
the
it in the
color.
sun. They left it under the lamp.
I do like the new interior over
Yeah.
my car. I will
Oh
say.
yeah, oh yeah. They always
Which is a
improve that.
shame because Nissan not doing so hot as.
Well, you talked about the poor man's Porsche. How about the actual man's Porsche? The
Porsche
718
Boxster and Cayenne. Beautiful looking car.
They all look the same.
Yeah. Yeah, they did change. It does look like they did something different with the back end this year.
I don't want to be carist here, but they do all.
We'll
look the same.
cover the other story we'll cover next week. Will be the back ends of convertibles.
Porsche 911. Once
Of course,
again,
Porsche, if you can afford it, they're excellent cars that are
Oh, yeah.
trying to kill you at all times.
that was the funny thing that I did see at the auto show was people would walk right up to the Porsches and they would just kind of jingle the car, the handle like, oh, they're not going to let me in it. No, they're not
they're not
letting
going to
you.
let you in it.
They're not letting you in the $100,000 car.
Yeah, the seats cost more than
You're
my house.
lucky they let you near it and don't rope it off. Like Porsche and Audi, very bold move.
Mercedes this year
$900.
did not make an appearance at the auto
Yeah.
show, which I thought was perplexing.
A little bit.
Normally, you like to look at Mercedes, I think it's the E-Class, to see where things will be in 20 years. Up next, we have the Subaru BRZ or Toyota
I'll tell you what,
86.
that's going to be the gem that you're going to find in 20 years is the BRZ and the Toyota 86.
If you're a collector, gobble these things up.
I want to say that
You want the manual.
the fans of Initial D helped make this car come back to life because Japan loves this car. It's a rear-wheel drive car. It's just a monster of a vehicle, and it's a drifter's dream. And Turbo Troy has one, loves his 86, and it's just a great car if you could skip it up.
Oh, yeah. Clarkson approved. This one we saw, the Subaru Impreza WRX STI.
Still looks kind of Evo-ish, but it looks
You know
great.
what? It's no longer a hatchback, and I
Yeah.
like that. I like the regular four-door.
I miss the hatchback. I really like those because those hatchbacks are
I wasn't
beasts.
too thrilled with it.
Oh man, I love them.
Number 27 on Car and Driver's
Corolla.
manual transmission list is the Toyota Corolla.
Mm-hmm.
I would expect nothing less.
Absolutely.
And a disturbing story coming from Toyota later.
Now that's a very interesting look for a Yaris. I kind of like that.
Yeah, the Yaris is a hot-looking little car. That is a four-door. That's a nice-looking little car.
That's a nice affordable.
And
affordable
apparently,
car.
the insider word is they don't break. Ever.
Well, it's because it's a Toyota. Yeah,
Oh, here's a classic, the Volkswagen Golf.
absolutely. I
Everyone
had a GTI.
loves a Golf.
I loved my GTI.
Great-looking interiors as well.
I had the DSG automatic, but I worked at Volkswagen for a time, and I got to drive the 6-speed Golfs and the 5-speed Golfs and the 6-speed GTIs. Oh my god, they are so fun to drive. Mm-hmm. If you lease one, you'll be extremely happy.
Yes. Up
is this
last
one?
on the list of Car and Driver's manual transmission is the Volkswagen Jetta, the GLI shown here.
Oh yeah.
That's a sharp-looking
those are
car.
like
Let me tell you, I miss my Volkswagen Jetta. I do not miss
Oh man, the Jetta was such a
trouble
nice
that I
car.
had with it at the very end of my 10-year or 15-year reign.
Oh yeah, when your speedometer went shit. Yeah, that was crazy. But the GLIs are really nice cars. I've driven those as well. They're just fantastic. All Volkswagens just stick to the roads, man.
Oh, right.
Really great drivetrains in them.
Excellent.
So-
Next segment we have is a little recap of what we'll be doing in the next upcoming weeks. In the next few weeks, we'll be covering every podcast. We'll be covering an auto show event.
Welcome, all Jaggers.
Oh God, for Jaggers and
There's
Tigers,
two
it's
very
live.
surprised-looking people.
Live from the Philadelphia Auto Show.
Okay, that didn't work.
Several videos on the cars, recording stuff for upcoming segments on.
Yep.
Okay, let's skip
God,
around.
you guys talk a
This
lot. don't
we
you?
do talk a lot.
We're going live here. So, we will.
Well.
Not my mug. There we go. We're starting off here.
Wow, this thing just has a mind of its own, honestly.
Get the 2024
But yes, my review of
This will be a segment of a review of a Honda Accord. Skip forward. This is the Honda Civic R-Type.
Yep.
We'll do a
You were getting.
watch that.
This is when I got locked in the back.
Oh yeah, you were
They had
watching
the fucking child lock on. Who puts the child lock on in the fucking auto show? It was in a Honda, but yes, we move on here. This was the CRV. Yeah, CRV.
CRV.
And a lot of what I saw in a lot of these SUVs where they were going very big screens.
Acura here with
Yeah,
the SUVs.
Yeah, we went to the MDXs, and the MDX has a nice new trim level coming out. They're red, and the NSX. Huh. My God, I love these cars. These are amazingly fast, mid-rear engines. It's so quick for a hypercar. Top Gear loved it, even though, of course.
Realistically, if you could afford it, you'd love one too.
Oh my God, yeah. And only a select amount of people, like 3 people in my dealership, are able to drive them, work them, and sell them. They're very selective when they get them in. They are treated immaculate. And it's just such a treat.
It is.
I have sat in one, and it's just such a good feeling that you get when you're in that cockpit. But
it is a lot like a supermodel of the car world.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Very expensive all over.
Oh yeah, really quick. And this is when we're looking around.
This will
one
cover
of
in
the side
our
sections.
convertible segments.
So
Ford Mustang, the hot-looking convertible.
That's that front
there,
end that we were mentioning, the Stingray mount.
It does. It looks hot. That is a hot-looking front end. Sponsorship available here.
You don't want a sponsorship because I was doing that the whole time. But Stingray mouth aside,
We really do love it.
this is their 4-banger engine. I went through a nice little because they had a bunch of little subsections that were just kind of broken apart. New Explorer.
This is the Explorer, what Ford is booking their future on.
And like I said,
This
big
is-
screens. Big screens in the center.
In related news, this is also why Ford is the stock is taking a big.
I see that as
That screen is very interesting. Looking at the screens over the overall auto show and what sizes people went with. Chevy, a lot of them, they were just going with that teeny tiny little screen. Whereas if you see there in the Ford, it has a big giant screen. The Tesla like screen where you can see everything.
Exactly because of Tesla. That's
And as you
why
see
they
there,
have
just
that.
one button and the seats go down. I don't, if I was an SUV type, that's the one I would
That's a
like.
mechanic's nightmare. That's all I see. That looks so hard to work on. That's exactly. And then, we'll put the BCM right here. It gets lots of air and everything. Man, that disgusts me. I'm sorry.
More
And I had to
SUVs
fix
than
the
Ford.
trim on that car. That car right there. The fucking see that? The water seal at the bottom was out. I had to fix that. I got my hands dirty at the auto show.
All right, well, that explains the stock.
Mechanics
Ford,
never sleep.
Ford, we really love you. We love
We do.
you.
But I had to make sure it
That's
looked
why
great.
we went live from your booth.
Yeah, because I had to make sure it looked great. I
As
didn't
they're
want to look
cornholing
shitty.
each other right there at the auto show.
Cornholing.
All right, let's go on before scandal starts.
This is the windowless van that all the kids were in.
Yes, this is the...
We stopped a pedophile ring at the auto show and let kids out of the back of a van. That is complete bullshit.
And when we look inside,
I just have to make sure I say that.
This is commonly used by
The
contractors.
magnetic door
and
I was so eloquently describing there. Yeah, that's really great. That's really great. And then we go here. You got in, I think, a little glimpse of the new Corvette there.
Yes,
Oh my God.
the brand new Corvette right there.
And he was talking about it there. We went through and saw, obviously, you have to see the Camaros.
This is the new Camaro,
That's
the
SS we were
convertible.
just looking at. And it's really great, man. It's all of them. It was such a great time.
Matthew thinking in a contemplative way about a Range Rover, which we'll talk about in the upcoming weeks.
Next week, yeah. But that was so perfect. I could not do that again.
Now,
A
speaking
Nissan
of
Z.
the new Nissan Z,
With the twin-turbo Infinity V6,
I
say
thought the look on that,
that's a monster.
That looks like-
400 horsepower. Absolutely.
oh yeah. This one will have twin turbo, 400 horsepower. They're using an Infinity engine, a V6. This is homage to the 240Z with the front end and lights.
Yeah. It looks nice.
You go down, you can see. I like that side view. If I could, I think that's a hot looking little car. Nissan has always been true to putting out lower. There's more views. There.
Oh, there you go.
That
Silver.
looks
That's a
hot
nice
as
color.
well. It looks hot in that from that back
like those
angle. It
rings,
looks
too.
a little weird.
Yeah.
This angle, they don't have nothing is finalized, which is why they look so.
It's very a
different.
nose car, but nose cars have their own place, like the 370. And
You know what?
like
I
the
kind
Ro-
of like it.
the
I
Roadster,
found my
the
Nissan to be
MX-5.
reliable. So I think it would be a reliable.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
Car.
I would definitely take that. It's a
Do they have?
very expensive,
Is there
very
another
very
photo
expensive windshield.
Yes. Is there a photo of the lights? It probably won't look like that. There's the current one with the back lights.
Yeah, that's the 370. So no,
right.
that's it. But very.
That is a sharp-looking
windshield.
car. I think I like the second one, the silver one,
I like the
rather
silver
than
one
the
over
orange and the black, the Flyers edition.
Yeah, I like the
top
silver.
looks a bit different. I like the very sloped
Yeah, there's something very
eye
classy.
looking. That's something a
Looks like
villain of a James Bond film would
Yeah,
buy.
it's very sharp, like a knife. Kind of like a Cutco blade. We saw them at the auto show.
Next, we have the future in a form of the past. What do you think of when I say Nikola?
Tesla.
This has nothing to do with the car company Tesla.
Oh my God! A pickup.
There's a pickup truck, and they're also looking to do a big rig 18-wheeler with battery power only, 600-mile range is what they're looking for.
Now this one also uses hydrogen fuel cells. Which
They
is
will
how
have an all-battery version, but the 600-mile range is probably the fuel cell version.
Yeah, it's the fuel cells. They do want to get up to that. Obviously, Elon's working up to that as well. But using hydrogen fuel cells.
So tell me, where do you buy your hydrogen?
Exactly. Good luck finding where you find a hydrogen. Actually, at 202 and Route 1, there's one. But that's not the point. The point is zero emissions, especially zero
Or is
emissions
that,
for big rigs.
CNG.
Yeah. Yes.
I think that's compressed
CNG.
natural gas.
Yeah, that's
instead
natural
of
gas.
something
But
else.
you can get somebody will if they become popular. A lot more people will go to hydrogen if people invest in the hydrogen fuel cells.
Absolutely.
And this one can be powered by the electric alone.
So, this version, generally 300 is...
It's probably not good for it.
300-mile range is about average. Next year, I'm thinking it'd be like
I'd say 5.
5,
Yeah.
maybe 6. And the top-end companies will push 7 and 1,000. 1,000 will be what they'll be going
I think
for in the
eventually
next
we
few
will
years.
get there, but the electric truck.
That is...
Sorry, that was a preview for tomorrow's podcast. But I think the electric truck there's something there.
Yes. Next, we have a Ford tragedy.
Oh God!
I had to include this one. Ford's brand new supercharged, where's my statistics? GT wrecked. It only had 266 miles on it. That's not the worst part. This is not covered under warranty.
No, but here's the thing. You ever wonder why they ask for your insurance card before you take the car out? It's because you're going to be paying for this, dude. That's going to hurt. You might have just been, hey, I could go to the dealership and drive a car. Oh, yes, you can. But if you do this, you're not going to like
This
that.
was a customer's car that the customer was upgrading with a supercharger. If they were going on a routine test, and this happened. The front end and what looks like a large chunk of the engine fell out.
Yeah, that's the front bumper.
This isn't the
area
worst
right
thing
there
for
in the
Ford,
front.
but in better news, Ford is not only having recalls, they're also doing something different with training people on how to use their electric cars.
Oh, okay.
They are using VR to train all their techs on how to properly work on the cars.
That's an awesome way to do it, and especially VR, AR. Those are the technologies that I really see helping with training quality technicians and showing them how to accurately diagnose something, how to accurately change something out if they get stuck, to have an immediate inquiry that they can go into. I see that as being a big thing in the automotive market, of being like, if Google Glasses become more prevalent, or whoever takes over the AR market, there's a big region they can capitalize on just in training alone.
Mm-hmm.
So just training with that VR.
If you
and
think
AR,
of
I'm
all the
glad
time
Ford
that's
is-
used on transportation.
because Ford is synonymous with trying to, push forward in things. Obviously, the assembly line came from them. So
Yes.
you have to tip your hat, if you will, to them at training in VR. That's really cool.
But the flip side of the coin for Ford this week is not just their falling stock price, but
Oh, God.
they have a recall of the Flex.
211,000 vehicles. That's not bad.
Yes, the Flex, the Lincoln NKZ, the Ford Taurus police car.
Oh.
Your department probably got a notice in the mail.
Yeah,
I would tell them
They
first.
have to legally. But
They have suspension flaws in the toe link arm, year 2013 to 2018. You will lose control of your car and crash and die in a horrible crash. So please, get to your dealership and get this fixed.
Yeah,
We love you.
The rear suspension toe links. So essentially, if the toe links go out, yeah, your wheel, there's still things in there, so it's not like the wheels can immediately come off, but it will be very unpleasant. So definitely get your vehicle out. Call Ford. They'll scan your VIN. They'll let you know if you are affected.
And you might even get a loaner car.
Yeah,
Because Ford will pick up the bill.
yeah, that's why they're there. So, who else is on the recall list?
Up next, we have GM joins the recall game with a brake glitch. I think this one is really, really horrible. It is a software glitch that will disable the brakes.
Okay, that's not
So,
that's not the best. Shout out to Kelly Collins for liking the video.
hi Kelly. See you tomorrow.
Chevy Silverado 1500 and the GMC Sierra 1500 light duty trucks have, because of the software update, may cause brake failure with the electronic brake assist system. That's not saying your brakes won't work. It's a
It's
hydraulic
just saying
system.
you should probably get to the dealership and
Yes. Your
your
car's
car
not.
fixed.
I can't stop. That's not what it's saying. It's saying that there's a problem with
that's
the
kind of
software.
what I was implying.
And
There.
it'll
I was
probably-
implying panic.
Yeah, it will probably just send off a light on your dash.
Yes.
That's what software does. When there's a glitch, it says, hang on, there's a problem. And like a student, it's, teacher, I got a problem. That's the light, is my hand, raising the hand. Yeah, anyway, but that's the thing with the recall. Yes, you need to go. You need to get it done. It's free work. Get off your ass and go.
All right.
On a Saturday, not to my dealer. What's going on with the Camaro?
Well, Ford is doing the brand new Mach-E, the electric Mustang, and this is their response to it. A very yellow. It's a very yellow Camaro E-Type. It's an SUV.
Yeah, whatever you were going to release, you could go back to the pad and scribble it out and rewrite.
It's only a
write new ones.
rendering. They're planning on from 300 to 459 horsepower.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's hideous.
Very.
You'll see it in the next upcoming Transformers film,
Ugh, like, what is...
if they're going to make one.
What is that?
Do any of the other...
That.
Click on the photos. Let's see if any of the other photos do it justice. Maybe it's just a bad photo.
Maybe it's just the color yellow.
Let's give them
I
a
might not,
chance.
I
Let's
might
see.
not like yellow. No,
Doesn't-
still don't like it.
It looks just like an
Yeah,
SUV
still don't
from
like
the
it.
back.
Well, I mean, that looks great. I mean,
I
comparatively.
really like that. You know what?
Comparative to this,
The front grille on the right.
which would you want this? You want this, sweetie? That's a fat hooker who's got one leg. And then you see the
syphilis.
dime piece who's standing on the corner like, yeah, I charge $250 for a blowjob, but
The
it's going to
one-
be good.
You know what? The one on the right, I'm not too thrilled about that front grille, but it's better than those Acuras when they had all that shiny shit on the front.
Yeah, and that's the Ford. Still looking better than the Chevy, if I have to
Yeah,
say.
yeah. It looks that one. Looks
I mean,
pretty
that's
sharp.
it's weird, but yeah, but still, it doesn't.
It's a
need
little
it. It's
bit
electric.
bizarre, but
You know,
eh.
you don't need that radiator. So yes, you can fill that in. I mean, white. No, maybe if I saw it in blue,
You know
or
what?
even a red. I
Now
would
that
love
you
that.
mention that, they could do so many more aesthetic design ideas.
Yeah,
with
there's so much you could do with electric vehicles, and then yeah, the Chevy
Wi-Fi hotspot
Wi-Fi.
for all
yeah,
hackers.
and Bose premium
out there.
sound. So yeah, you see a nice side shot.
Mach-E. We didn't know this was going to be such a Ford.
I know, for a Chevy article, they're
For
really
a Chevy
blowing through it.
article, boy. and this came through GM.
Look at all these pictures of our competition. Look how nice their rims are. Ours are shit.
By the way, we
have LTE hotspots.
Yes.
But look at these. Look at those.
Wow, look at those lights.
I mean, they are kind of interesting.
They're different lights.
It looks like a toothbrush.
It looks different. It looks like the light's trying to wink at you.
That's not bad. Honestly, that's not bad.
You know what? The back end of that looks like it caught a horrible disease.
It looks like it will cure gingivitis with those 2 toothbrushes on the back.
It got in a fight. Boom! And someone gave it 2 black eyes. It's a fighting SUV.
Not bad. Nice slope design for the roof. It probably still feels really big with the interior because you have the rocker panels here to where if you bring it down an inch, you still have a lot more headroom.
Oh, yeah.
Not bad in blue. See? I told you. Blue?
Yeah.
I like the toothbrushes in blue. Right.
All right.
Yeah.
One of these stories has a lot of pictures in it.
Oh,
so let's move on. We don't want to...
Mid-engine? Yeah. Right?
Yes.
Ah, cool. The next story. What's going on with the...
Chevy Stingray.
Yeah.
The first model was auctioned off to charity.
Oh, nice.
It has 495 horse paddles.
It comes with paddles? That's an
Probably
amphibious
a
car?
flappy paddle gearbox. When we were at the auto show, we did look inside, and I got to sit inside one. The problem with this, it looks like when you sit at the driver's seat, it's got this big giant. You feel so separated from the rest of the car.
Yeah.
They might be going for like a cockpit look, but like I want to feel my other side of the car. I don't want to be so. Really, the cockpit should be in like a McLaren in the center. That's where I would expect that cockpit. But
I don't know. I think it looks sharp. It looks sharp.
The outside of it does. It always looks. It always does look sharp.
Yeah, it's probably expensive as balls, but you know. $3 million at charity auction though.
But they did raise $3 million for a charity.
That's a great cause.
And
they get a car.
And then there's a car. Yeah. Somebody gets a car.
A brand new
car. Next up in Toyota joins on in the pile on. This is my favorite recall tonight.
Okay.
Toyota, and believe it or not, and Lexus, their engines are catching fire.
Oh.
And you could die immediately.
I'm sorry.
Run to your dealership. Yeah. Don't run. Get them to tow it.
Yeah, call it.
It might not actually be that bad.
Yeah, you may want to call.
The real issue with this is the engine block. They have to replace the entire engine.
That you're going to need to schedule.
They have Toyota. Leaks. Yeah. Leaking oil to the point where it causes fire.
Gets on the exhaust and it'll catch fire.
I actually had that happen to me in the Plymouth.
Oh yeah, I had that happen too. I had to go run inside, grab the extinguisher, and then the extinguisher.
No, I ran in and grabbed water, and there was a line. I'm like, "Excuse me, can I get in front of you? My car is on fire." They're like, "Yeah, go ahead, I got it. Thanks." I was able to save the car.
Yeah, I was at home at my parents' house. I backed in, and the car was on fire when I lifted the hood. So I ran inside. I grabbed the old fire extinguisher in the garage. It was rusted. I hit it. Took out the pin. Hit it. I've been through safety training. Hit it, and it starts popping out of the side. So then I just twist it and spray the whole thing down. So it did work, kind of, just not where it was supposed to. But no fire.
At least it sort of worked.
It was a one-time thing. I got in and drove it later on, and it was perfectly fine.
Yeah,
now knowing what I know,
didn't hurt the recall.
Yeah, now knowing what I know, probably wasn't the best idea.
No, it was not.
I think I blew.
This affects Toyota and Lexus. Believe it or not, this is the first recall I've ever seen for Lexus.
Yeah, I mean,
Toyota, I blame you. I'm sorry.
No, they share parts. They were involved with the brake pedal, or the gas pedal.
The gas pedals were killing
recall.
people. Oh yeah, I remember
it's been a while. It's been a while since a serious one.
Let's skip to the next story. Let's go to the Kia story. Okay. Now, on the bright side, the next one down.
Oh God. Kia.
Up next, we have on the bright side, we have a story from the Korean Herald about Kia. Going anywhere, the auto news is here on Pajangers.
The G70?
The Kia has been related the safest cars for crash rating
Okay.
in America.
Yeah.
So Kia has got it all going on.
believe
Hyundai
that.
and Kia, that's the Hyundai Genesis.
Yeah, that's the Genesis.
That's the
G70.
Genesis 70, G70. So they're apparently really safe cars. And you know what? Sitting in them, I'm actually rather surprised.
They're
They
comfortable.
really have come a long way.
Yeah, they're real comfortable.
Up next, we have a story about an Alfa. Alfa Romeo Spider 4C. They're working on an electric motor.
Okay.
They're using Yamaha, and they no specific details for this Alfa 4C Spider, but they say it should have a 1.75 liter engine with about 237 horsepower.
Okay.
The Yamaha engine will put out 200 kilowatts of energy.
Nice.
No range details yet, but I'm thinking it'll probably be around 200 maybe, because it looks like
That's a nice takeoff.
200 if you're driving sensibly, but if you're
Yeah.
driving quickly,
Maybe one.
don't plan on
25.
going very far.
Yeah. All about how you drive it, but that's really impressive. 1.75 liter turbocharged inline 4 engine makes 237 horsepower, but the 4C, 200 kilowatts of energy. So, it's light. You pop it in there. It's not a heavy engine, so you're going to be getting a lot out of that.
And up last, we have what we always like to end the show with, is a list. 64 of the safest cars
Good Lord.
for your money from Business
Could you not
Insider.
find a list with 100?
We're going to look over the list and briefly cover
Next
some
week,
of them.
1 million cars that you might think you might want in the future.
I'm thinking we're going to see a lot of repetition here. Probably a
definitely.
lot of Toyota.
I would imagine, yes.
I'd be surprised if Kia wasn't on it. Did I wander?
There we go.
Acura RDX. The
RDX is a great
SUV.
model. I love the front end of the RDXs. It's very
It's a nice
smooth.
looking SUV.
It's a nice mid-size SUV that's available with a 4-liter turbocharged engine, fully synthetic oil. Still pretty decent maintenance-wise, though. You get about anywhere from 5 to 8,000 miles in between your services, and it's a really smooth, especially the blue. The reds are really nice. Acura's are really great for red, and
Audi A6. That's not surprising, coming from the Germans.
yeah.
The Cadillac XT6. It's a different looking car. I don't think.
Bit boxy.
Yeah. It's
boxy.
made for a different group of people than me.
Oatmeal.
Oatmeal is not a sponsor of the show.
No.
We just covered Hyundai
Just say Genesis. It's the Genesis G7.
The G70
Yeah.
doesn't look that bad.
You're obviously classy if you only use one letter and numbers.
Actually, it's probably because of trademark. Everything's been trademarked.
Yeah. G80.
Another
looking
Hyundai.
a more full-size sedan.
Next. Honda Insight.
Not bad.
That's not a bad
It's like an
looking
Accord.
car. Hyundai. Ugh, holy crud.
Nexo.
Nexo.
And Nexo.
Next, though, we have the Lexus ES. It's a nice looking
Smooth.
front end, I guess.
Smooth looking car. Just looks like,
Oh, yeah.
oh, hey.
But,
You know what it looks like? It's like, watch this. That's what that front end looks like. I love it.
it's a good look. The Lexus NX, the SUV.
For you J.J. Abrams fans, it
Yes.
looks very Star Trek.
Mazda 3 hatchback. You know what? For a
Smooth.
hatchback, that's a really nice looking
Smooth.
hatchback.
If I had another hatchback, that's the one I would
If I
get.
had to get a hatchback today, I'd think about getting that.
Absolutely.
Mazdas,
And the sedan.
Mazdas are always pretty killer cars from my research.
Safest cars. The 64 safest, I would add those two.
From
in
Business
there.
Insider,
Especially the
Mazda
6.
3, Mazda 6, which is the bigger full-size car, Mazda X, their SUV, the CX-3.
You know, they could have just saved space by just saying Mazda.
Yes, or Kia, Mazda. We're gonna skip past this one. Didn't they just mention that? Mercedes-Benz C-Class. If there weren't Mercedes on this list, I'd start to question why.
Is there like a corporate overtaking of Mercedes with the Illuminati or something? Like, why is nobody talking about Mercedes at all? Did Mercedes become Fight Club?
It's because they probably won the Grand.
I think we found the title for the podcast.
All right.
Mercedes-Benz GLE class. Nice
Another
little...
Mercedes SUV. Looks like a...
Kind of reminds me of like a bigger Mini.
Crossover thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I hate that.
The crossover SUV. For
Nissan Maxima, the performance model of the Nissan lineup.
Sunburnt orange kind of color. I don't know. For some reason that works.
It's not a bad brown car.
It's like that's like the girls putting the makeup right there on their eyelid. That's what that is. I'm classy. I'm adding something. Extend my eye.
You look at my eye now.
Sorry, you look beautiful, ladies.
Subaru Crosstrek Hybrid.
Okay.
It's a Subaru. That's what we expect from you. Subaru Forester. This is the Subaru
Once
section
again,
of the list.
Subaru, Mazda, Subaru. It's just easier that way.
Subaru Legacy. They had one of these for the longest time. Subaru Outback.
It's a nice looking car though. I've seen those with the manual transmission back in the day, and they were it just looked like an amazingly fun ride.
Get your oil changed often.
Tesla Model 3 not coming.
Didn't see that one coming.
Yeah, I imagine it's safe. Elon drives one.
Yeah.
As well as the
Toyota Camry.
I'm not surprised by that. That's a great car.
That's a great looking Camry right there.
Yeah,
I like
it's
that.
a great car. I've had one. I've owned a Camry, and it's remarkably safe. It's amazing.
It almost looks as good as the model you drove. It was a really good looking model. You still see them around.
Little engine that could. That's why. So you see
Audi A7 on the list. Next up, for the safest cars from Business Insider, Audi Q8.
Nice little SUV there.
BMW 3 Series, the
right.
four-door volume. Chevy Equinox. Wow, who'd have thought?
That's once again like
You know what?
mid-range
They're always doing
SUV.
commercials for this.
Yeah,
Yeah. Ford Edge.
not very
I'm
sharp.
still not buying one.
It's not very sharp looking.
It looks like a Range Rover with the badges changed.
Yeah.
And the,
Hey, can I copy your homework?
Another Ford something SUV. What do we got next?
That's the Escape,
Right. Honda Accord for all you car lovers.
which we
out
did
there.
sit in. That was the first
It is a
car
really
we
nice
walked into on
They
the
got
auto
that
show.
new lane assist system.
Yeah, it's really great. Honda has a bunch of technology in there, especially
Honda Civic Coupe.
the
Again,
Civic.
we're
Good
seeing
Lord, no,
pattern.
no.
That is something about Honda.
Get your
They'll
booger
paint
green
it
outta here.
whatever color you want.
Yeah, whatever
I'd like
color.
it green screen green.
If you get that girl, I
Although-
need a pink car. Honda.
Although I wonder what color it looks like on the green screen.
I'll be able to tell in a minute once we get there. It's
It looks the same
right.
color.
Yeah,
It looks
the same
exactly
color.
the same color.
And the hatchback.
The
For
hatchback,
fans.
not surprisingly,
Still.
because it's basically the same car.
Love that front end. Really
Let's
great looking car.
zoom down and see if there's anything surprising. Honda Civic
Sedan.
sedan.
Once again, Honda.
Honda CRV.
Mazda.
Not
Honda.
Honda.
Oh my God, I'd be surprised if we didn't see a Volvo.
Hyundai,
The Elantra.
which is basically a Kia.
The Elantra GT, which is the little hatchback.
I think we get the message on this
Hyundai
list.
Kona. Let's just add the manufacturer's name.
Hyundai.
Like, you know what? These guys are really safe.
Yeah, you know what? It would make me feel better about buying. What's that little
Palisade?
hatchback that Hyundai does? They do that
Hyundai
little-
Palisade. I'm convinced Hyundai just wants to make a bunch of cars with names you can't pronounce.
They're trying to be the new big car company in the world, like
Okay.
all car companies.
Santa Fe always makes me want to grab a taco.
Not a bad looking little SUV. I guess. See, even Link likes it.
Link agrees. Hyundai Sonata.
Sonata.
Those are great cars. The Tucson, which is, there you are, another SUV. The Veloster, which is kind of, it's like a sedan bastard. It's not
kind
really...
of those crossover
Yeah.
things, extra room. But I don't want to say I'm growing up, so I'm getting a crossover, not a minivan. Kia Forte.
Nice little
I
entry
see
level
those
sedan.
things everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Could be where we live.
Not surprised that they're
And they look really good inside. Whenever I take a ride in a Kia, I'm like, wow, who would have
This is a
thought?
Kia,
This is a
really?
Kia.
Yeah.
Eventually, we'll stop saying that.
Sorrento. The
Again,
03 to 05 Sorrentos are a bitch to work on, but newer ones, obviously, they're just like Legos. They're great.
another.
Who doesn't love Legos?
I'm thinking the entire Kia line is
The
on.
Kia
there.
Soul!
Zip down real quick. Let's see if we got something other than.
I've owned one of these. Kia Sportage. Didn't look like that. I'll tell you that. I wouldn't have bought.
Yeah.
I would not have bought that. Kia Stinger that we saw there. This is our fast car.
It looks like it has
GT2.
tumors.
The Taillights. Troy showed me the interior of this one on his phone. It's actually extremely big. Captain's
It
chairs.
looks like there's a
It's
lot of room
huge.
in there.
Yeah, it's huge on the inside. It's actually
Give me
quite
that
impressive.
magazine under there, and I can look up the weight. It's underneath the laptop.
Oh, physically.
Lexus RX. I'd expect that because of their association with Ford.
Taillights RX and the UX. RX, UX, NX, Generation X. They have all the X's. X-Pac, DMX.
Lexus UX.
The Lincoln Corsair. That looks a bit snobby.
Yeah, it's a Lincoln. Oh,
Just
the other Lincoln.
The car looks like it's looking like it's better than you. I'm better than you. Mazda CX-9.
Was Kia what I'm looking for?
Yeah, Taillights. It's the SUV. The Nissan Altima. Very distinct. Nissan's gone for a very distinct look with their front grills.
It doesn't have the weight. I'll look up the weight later.
They're trying to have like an interesting little.
I like the
honeycomb.
Altima. It's a nice looking car. If you like a big
A
car.
weird thing. They did that with the Versa too. What is that? What are you doing there? I don't know.
You need airflow. That's what.
Ascent.
Subaru Ascent. Okay.
It looks exactly like every other fucking Subaru.
Sorry, Subaru. They do.
It
Please.
suffers from Porsche syndrome.
Please fix your engine leaking problems.
Yeah, it suffers from Porsche syndrome.
Cross Tech.
Once again, am I wrong?
It kind of.
Look,
It could be the color, but
I'm
it reminds
following
me,
the list right along with you.
What was the Breaking Bad car that they had in Survivor? Aztec.
Yes.
It reminds me a little bit of the Aztec. I'm sorry, I just put the voodoo curse on you.
Impressive 5-door. The 5th door is in the back end. Giggity. Because they don't have enough sound drops by now. Subaru Impreza sedan, obviously.
WRX.
Yeah. Troy,
Get yourself
Turbo
a
Troy
turbo.
can tell you how safe the STI is.
Mm-hmm. Because he's still alive.
Yeah.
Again, Toyota. I think this wraps up generally the list.
For
We
a
get good
little car,
summary.
that's impressive that they're saying that this is safe. That's a very small car, just like the small
Oh,
Chevys.
yeah.
But in the list
Notice
before, but-
nowhere on the list was that smart car.
Yeah.
That thing, you
It's a
drive
casket.
that, you're gonna be dead.
Corolla sedan.
Like Toyota, I would expect
Yeah.
Toyota
RAV4.
quality.
Wow, the RAV4 has really changed.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
SUVs are the thing of today and tomorrow.
Tiguan.
Volkswagen, Tiguan.
Not very popular with the
Wow.
sales, but it is a really great car. Very
That
safe.
one is kind of surprising. Volvo,
I knew they'd be here. I knew you existed. The Volvo S60.
Oh, it is a very large
It's a
list.
driving pillow.
That looks really
that
good.
Volvo. I told you they wouldn't disappoint.
You were waiting for the Volvo.
I
weren't you?
knew. I was waiting for the Volvo because when you're talking about a safe car, how could you not think of Volvo?
All those Saab engineers had to go somewhere.
You know, it's just a great list. I approve. Mattman approved. Not that I needed to. But,
All right, everyone, thank you from Pajangers and Wall Hangers. Go to the website at pjandwh.com. Contact us there. Tell us your favorite car moments, car stories, or
traffic
why you
incidents.
love your car. Traffic incidents.
kind of car stories.
Everything. Give us a ring there. Like and subscribe below. Thank you for joining us. Join us tomorrow for the Triforce podcast, roughly at this time.
Yeah. I, of course, am Matthew Bugerell, the Madman. This is Big Brother Stephen Bugerell, and our mascot, Hero of Time. He's been blocked by the Lugnutz symbol, but he's been there this entire time with his bones.
You can see him over the U.
Yes. But we will see you tomorrow around this time for the Triforce podcast with Kelly Collins, Old Man Christopher Bristow, and us. See you next week, boys and girls. As always, drive on, Lugnutz!
Looks like if your car was left out in the sun and the snow melted it. I'm convinced Hyundai just wants to make a bunch of cars with names you can't pronounce. So
Yes.
you have to tip your hat, if you will, to them. And like a student, it's, teacher, I got a problem. It looks like it will cure gingivitis with those 2 toothbrushes on the back. Kia,
It's
could you not
inside.
find a list with 100? Kia sold! I knew they'd be here. I knew you existed.
Pizza. Oh, pizza. Cuckoo.
Bro.
This just in, the neighbors are playing the basketball.
The basketball game. Now we're Lugnutz. No longer the Triforce.
Are we live?
We are not live, but we are recording. Now we're starting recording, but not streaming. Can't do it anymore because of copyrights.
Okay.
I can get everything ready.
Oh no, we're gonna end it.
Oh, God. Stop streaming.
Birds.